Hi, I'm Virginia Todd with Leading Edge here in the Andover office, and I wanted to introduce somebody to you.
I'm Henry Smith. I'm with Final Offer. I do sales and account management for Final Offer, and we've partnered with Virginia and Leading Edge to bring transparency and certainty to the buying and selling community.
And we are so excited that Leading Edge, of course, with the name Leading Edge, we're always in the forefront of bringing new things and new products because things are always changing. And if I'm correct, Final Offer has only been in the market less than a year.
Correct.
And we are the third market in the whole U.S.
Yes, actually the second market after DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Wow. Okay. And so how long has it been in those markets?
So Final Offer launched in DC, Maryland, and Virginia back in October of 22.
Okay.
And we've seen a large amount of success there.
Yeah.
We've put over 300 homes on the platform. Mm-hmm. Majority of those are under contract or sold. And now we took those experiences and those great case studies and brought Final Offer up to Massachusetts as well.
So let's talk a little bit more about what Final Offer is.
Yes.
Is this like a product? Is it an app? Is it for a buyer agent? Is it for a seller agent?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, so Final Offer truly benefits all parties. Okay. For the listing agent, they're able to bring this tool to their client, mm-hmm. that they're able to name the price and terms that they want on their home up front. So they're almost able to create the rules of the road up front for then the buying community to see that and be able to give them what they prefer on their property. Okay. And for the buying agent and the buyers, they're now able to see the price and terms it takes to make an offer that'll be accepted, which is something they don't have in today's market.
No, not at all.
And on top of that, the buying agents and the buyers can now see all offers that are coming in. So they know exactly what it takes to make an offer that'll be accepted and an offer that can win. And with the addition of the final offer price, which is essentially like a buy it now price, you're able to actually put the home under contract immediately, foregoing any competition if the seller wants to include that price or that option on their home.
So let's say a house was on the market for like $600,000, which is pretty typical in this area. And then they're like, you know what? If you give me $750, you can have the house today, no questions asked. End of story.
That's right, and it is price and terms. So they could give you $750, and maybe you don't want any contingencies along with that $750 to say, hey, if you're foregoing any competition, putting this under contract immediately, mm-hmm. you better give us a good deal. And so the seller can name that up front. And now the buying community knows, okay, if I'm walking through this open house, I see 30 other people in this open house. Maybe somebody else is going to go hit that final offer. We now have the power to do so. Let's just go do it. And we've seen that happen time and time again. Yeah. And it's a super powerful experience for the seller community or the sellers because they're now able to get that aspirational price.
Exactly.
And the buyer agents and the buyers now have the ability to actually put it under contract immediately, which is something they haven't had before.
Yeah, because when you meet with clients, like as a realtor, when I meet with clients, I'm like, okay, what's your dream offer? What would you love? And often you'll say something that is like, oh, it's unreachable, you know what I mean?
That's right.
I want all cash, waive everything, close in a month, but get all my money today, and then live in my house for 6 months, whatever the crazy things are.
And now that's actually in reach because you can name what that is. And at the same time, if offers start to come in on the property and you realize maybe you didn't set that at that highest mark that you could have gotten, you could always update that during the process. So if your final offer price is at $750 per se on that property, and you're receiving offers, 4, 5, 6 offers, they could get up to $730.
Yeah.
You may want to say, okay, final offer price is now $765.
Okay.
To ensure that you are getting the best price in terms for your seller and keeping that almost carrot dangling out there for people to come up and make that offer.
Exactly. And I think everyone, whether you're a buyer or seller, is just knowing the transparency. Like some people just don't know. They don't know what it takes to get there.
That's right.
And sometimes it's hard to make somebody understand what it is to get there.
That's right.
And that's what's wonderful about
and that's the certainty that people haven't had.
Yeah.
And so we give them that certainty. And so sometimes what people say is, well, this benefits the buying community much more than it benefits the list agent and the seller community.
100%.
And what we believe and what we're seeing based on all the homes that we put under contract is that even though the buying community can see the exact price they need to make that next highest offer, we're still seeing that transparency drive up competition and get listing agents and sellers 106% sale price to list price,
wow.
which is 7% higher than the industry average.
Wow.
And so it's even though the buying community knows that maybe they're getting put into a competitive situation,
yeah.
they don't mind because they know exactly what it takes to make the next highest offer, and they know that somebody's right behind them willing to pay a little bit less, so they don't feel like they're overpaying, even if they do have to make multiple offers, and they do come up to, say, 106%
yeah.
sale price to list price.
What's nice is that the rules are the same for everyone. And sometimes
yep.
when you're a buyer or consumer, you always feel like it's not fair.
Yep.
Right? You always feel like somehow somebody has an advantage over you.
That's right.
You don't know what it is, but you're just being shafted somewhere.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I'm working with buyers right now, and we just put in an offer on a house that does not have final offer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to the agent and stuff, and they're like, oh, the offer deadline is noon. We have 4 offers. And I asked, oh, is anyone waiving home inspection? And he didn't answer. So to me, that was code with maybe they're not.
Right.
And so we put in an offer with a home inspection, and then now, today, luckily, he did come back to us, because a lot of agents don't come back to you.
Right.
He's like, well, we have over 10 offers, and come back with best and final. And we don't, what is the best and final?
What is best and final? You're still guessing at that point.
We're guessing, and my client's like,
right. It's you as the buyer agent in that situation are now the middleman,
yeah.
but you don't have all the information at your disposal.
No.
And so why is this good for buyer agents as well? Is that you're able to know when your offer is,
yeah.
Accepted, or when it's, entered in. It's going to be reviewed by everybody because everybody can see it, including the listing agent and the seller. And then on top of that, when that next offer comes in as the buying agent, and you can bring that information to your buyer to say,
yeah.
hey, an offer came in at $675. Do we want to go up to $680?
Yeah.
And you have that informed conversation, and now you're making an informed decision on what you want to do. And if it is, your buyers do want to back out at that
yeah.
point, and take a step back, that's fine, and it's their choice.
Exactly.
Because it's their choice.
There's nothing worse than you see it close, and then you find out that it was, whatever, $1 over your offer.
Right.
And we're like, I would have paid that.
100%. And that's happened time and time again, where after it ended up closing 30,
yeah.
60 days down the line, your buyers are then getting mad at you saying, hey, how didn't you know? We would have paid 10 grand more than that.
Exactly. Like, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. And you're like, really?
Right.
Really?
Right.
Because I've had some buyers that we put an offer in a house, and there were 37 offers on the house. This was right in the middle of COVID, where it was so competitive. And luckily, it was a leading edge agent on the other side.
Yep.
So they told me up front, oh, it's 37 offers.
Yeah.
And the house was at 700. And I said, did anyone go over $1 million?
Right.
And they said, yes. So I went back to my client. I'm like, well, you need to be over. And they're like, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
And they were fine with that because
right.
they knew they did not want to spend over $300,000 extra.
That's right.
And that was their choice.
That's
and
right.
they're happy with it.
That's right. And so from our standpoint, I think that goes 3/4 of the way there to say, hey, we do have an offer over $1 million. So you know around what your target number needs to be.
Exactly.
But still, your clients could go to 1.1.
Yeah.
And all they had to make an offer at was maybe 1.025,
exactly.
1.25.
Yeah.
And they would have had the winning offer. So at that point, your client could have been spending 75 grand more than they even needed to.
Exactly. And that's what no one wants to overpay.
Nobody wants to overpay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to overpay. And maybe if they were to find that out, they would be super upset again with the buyer agent, even though you didn't have any of that information at your disposal. You were just trying to get them to win the property.
And I have a lot of buyers, they always feel like their offer is not being accepted or even presented. You know what I mean? And so like with final offer, that's not the case, right? Because you can see right away that you got on the platform.
That's right. So you make your offer on the platform, and by making an offer on the platform, you know that the seller is committed to the price and terms that they put on there. And similarly, the buying agent and the buyer have to sign a buyer agreement saying they're committed to the price and terms that you're making an offer for. And so if you make an offer for the minimum committed offer price as well as the terms, you then know that, okay, if my offer ends up being the winning offer, we are bound to purchase this property and the seller is bound to sell it to me.
But also, just because the seller has a list of what they want and what, it doesn't mean that a buyer has to necessarily do that.
That's right.
They can still put contingencies in, not waive things and everything.
That's right.
And that's their choice. That's how they want to present the offer. It's just letting you know this is what the seller would like.
That's right.
And if somebody else sees what they like and is willing to do that, you might lose the offer.
That's exactly right.
But you don't have to do anything that is set.
That's right. And that's what we tell everybody that walks into open houses is, hey, we're giving you more information than you've ever had before.
Correct.
By giving you the price and terms that they've actually committed to accept.
Exactly.
Right now, the MLS list price is truly just a marketing number.
Yeah.
Somebody could give you the MLS list price and the seller may say, you know what, hold on. I want to let this get through the weekend.
Of course.
And I don't want to accept this just yet.
Yeah.
But now you have strict rules, not rules, but guidelines, thank you, on what to make an offer at that the seller is actually committed to.
Yeah.
And somebody can make an offer, say you want as your minimum committed offer an offer of $650 with no financing, no appraisal, but you will allow a home inspection.
Yeah.
Now you bring a buyer that wants to include a financing contingency. You're able to make that offer. You're able to make an offer at $625 with a financing contingency, and it'll get sent over to the list agent and the seller to review.
Yeah.
Just like it normally would. And they can then counter you through the system, and they can pick up the phone and you can call the agent and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You send that counter through the system, again, just like you normally would. But the benefit to the list agent and the seller is that in that process, everybody gets alerted that you received an offer. Yeah. And that the offer is potentially below the minimum committed offer price or for different terms. But they know you're negotiating.
Exactly.
So now they know to maybe get off their butt and come and make an offer as well.
Yeah, because sometimes, people like to wait to the last minute or something. They're waiting, and you just don't. Yeah, it's so hard. It's hard.
It's
and
hard,
and transparency is wonderful.
That's right. It's so hard, and especially where you don't know, where you need to be.
Exactly.
And so our hope is that by requiring agents on both sides of the transaction, so requiring a list agent, requiring a buyer agent, that we're giving you the tools necessary to give more information to your clients and give them a better experience.
Exactly.
So that they keep coming back to you saying, hey, I had a great experience with you. I want to use you to sell my house next time around.
Yeah. Now, another tool that's great is because you have a platform where you can actually follow the house and watch the house.
Yeah.
So like when I do an open house, then I can have anyone that comes through the open house sign up and then like that property, right?
That's right.
And then what's the benefit to that?
So when we have people walk through the open house, we have the agent put final offer up on an iPad, up on a TV, up on a computer, so that you're explaining final offer to whoever walks through. And we have nosy neighbors that come in, we have buyers who are unrepresented that are coming in, that you're now differentiating yourself from every other open house that they've been into, because you're now having this higher level conversation about this new platform. Yeah. And what we try to get them to do, to your point, is hit save on the specific listing, and if they do so, they'll receive real-time offer alerts. Okay. And so as any offer comes in, whether it be below the minimum committed offer price or above the minimum committed offer price with the terms that you specified, you'd be able to get an alert that that offer was made. And so it's just providing that extra level of transparency, and hopefully for the listing agent and the seller, creating that competition, which brings everybody back to the table and starts making offers.
Yeah, because sometimes people just don't believe it. Some buyers are like, oh, I'm just going to wait this out, or whatever it is.
They trust you. They trust you with everything, but they don't necessarily trust the agent that's on the other side.
Definitely not.
So I think that goes a long way in putting trust in the list agent and knowing that this process is going to be fair. And
that's all what we want.
Right.
It's like, it's so hard. Like, when I work with buyers and they're just so disappointed and they just don't know and they don't feel like they have a fair chance. Right. Or their offer was, like I said, even looked at. Right. How do you know?
Right.
I mean,
we've heard so many stories of buyer agents making an offer on a property, and then that list agent saying, oh, sorry, my client's on the plane to California, we'll get back to you later. Yeah. And it's like, how many times can somebody be on the plane to California Like, we want an answer shortly.
Exactly.
And whether it be good or bad, we want to know what we have to come up to in order to make that next highest offer. And, you know, a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, to that point, what is so frustrating is when you put it in an offer, like the buyer is excited.
Yep.
The buyer is nervous.
Yep.
And the buyer wants an answer, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
And sometimes in today's market, you just will not hear anything. And the next day, you're waiting and waiting and waiting.
Right.
Like, the buyer agent can't sleep. The
That's right.
buyers can't sleep. We're just waiting and waiting, and we don't want to be a pest and pester the person.
That's right.
And then we find out it's under agreement, and we
Right.
weren't given a second chance. We weren't told anything.
Right.
And now you're like, "Argh."
Right, and we've been told so many times, it's like even from buyers that lost out on properties because they chose to do so.
Yeah.
They were like, this has been the most relaxing offer process that I've ever been through, because we knew that our threshold was, say, $1 million.
Exactly.
And so we didn't go to sleep last night praying that our offer was going to be accepted. We made the decision as a couple at 9 p.m. that, hey, we weren't going to escalate to $1 million.
And we're fine with that.
And we're fine with that.
Yeah.
And we're not then learning the next day that, hey, sorry, your offer's out of the running, and not really knowing why.
Exactly. Like, it's wonderful. I'm so glad that you came today.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you explained it. I'm so excited that our company here at Leading Edge has decided to partner with you guys.
Yep.
And from now on, when we do listings and stuff, this is a product that we're going to be offering.
Yes.
And I can't wait to get my first listing with your product.
And we're so happy we're partnering with you also, so that you can bring that control and certainty to the seller community in order to drive competition for them, while also that certainty and clarity to the buying community.
Transparency.
And the transparency to allow them to know what it takes to make an offer that'll be accepted. And I think the combination of those two things is going to catapult not only your business, but the business of Leading Edge as well.
Yeah, and transform real estate as
Exactly.
we know it today.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is Virginia Todd with Leading Edge, and I'm here today with
Henry Smith with Final Offer.
And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Take care.
Thank you.